You believe you're innocent?
Very true, innocent. I did what I supposed to do. I stopped the contract, so I don't know why should I be here.
Do you think this?
It does not look good for criminals in South Africa. They're being arrested left, right, and center, making court appearances, applying for bails. But that's the thing. It's not only criminals. Even our National Police Commissioner is facing the might of the law. Today he appeared because of serious charges that are in connections to a 306 million tender that is connected to Mr. Vusimuzi Matlala. In this video, I wanted us to talk about these allegations and what people are saying, because people are saying that this is nothing but the factions of the police, the factions of the IDEC. That is why Masemola is facing the might of the law.
Well, I'm not privy to the charges because you'll recall that it is an IDEC matter, but we are told it is charges relating to contravention of the PFMA Act. But for us as the SAPS, this is a defining moment, not only for the National Commissioner of the SAPS, but for the organization as a whole, for the mere fact that the National Commissioner is appearing on the Medicare 24 tender on allegations of contravention of the PFMA Act. It is a moment of truth. It is a test for our institutional integrity. It is a test on our commitment to accountability, and it is a test for our respect for the rule of law. As an organization, we have always stood for the principle that no one is above the law, irrespective of rank, position, and status. And for the mere fact that the National Commissioner is appearing, it means he upholds the integrity of the office that he serves.
So we know that last month, 14 police officers were arrested in connections to the 360 SAPS tender that was awarded to Vusimuzi Matlala. We uncovered that this tender was irregularly awarded, and more than anything, the IDEC was investigating these police officers and started making these arrests. These police officers, they received bail, but subsequent to that, we found out that the National Police Commissioner was also summoned and was facing serious charges that are connected to this particular tender. So the National Police Commissioner comes in because after it was suggested or it was recommended that Medicare 24 should get the tender, the National Police Commissioner didn't do anything about that, and the tender was given to Vusimuzi Matlala. Secondly, even after IDEC did flag this particular tender, he still continued and then later cancelled the tender after Mkhwanazi asked that this tender be reviewed.
I did what I supposed to do. I stopped the contract, so I don't know why should I be here.
Do you think this is a witch hunt against you?
Well, I don't say witch hunt, but all I can say is that I don't think one should have been here today. We should be fighting organized crime as a group, as a joint force, but well, things do happen. Here am I on PFMA, so it's one of those things.
So it's part of the internal factional pushback, right? Because you have exposed a number of criminality to the Madlanga Commission and ad hoc. Do you think this is a pushback from within?
We have not yet finished. We are just starting. There is still a lot that we are going to expose. A lot of work around organized crime is going to be done. So, yeah.
It is then now when the National Police Commissioner is facing serious charges that are in connections to the PFMA. And these charges, it's namely corruption, fraud, money laundering, and so forth, which is what is also being faced by these 14 officers. Most of these 14 officers are either part of the people that sat in the committee, the evaluation committee, or the adjudication committee, meaning that these are the people who overlook these irregularities and still continued with the appointment. But that's the thing. There's just a lot of red flags regarding the arrest or the charging of Fannie, the Lieutenant General, the Police Commissioner, the National Police Commissioner. And one amongst those is the fact that why is it that only General Fannie Masemola is being arrested? We know through the ad hoc committee, it has been revealed clearly that General Molefe Fannie is the one that approved the tender, even after he was warned by the National Police Commissioner not to do so. So this is a classical example that gets to show you the silence from Fannie Masemola, that his silence is what caused him to be where he is. Because I think more than anything, they took advantage of them, from Shadrach Sibia to these people like Fannie, who also allowed or did whatever that he wanted, because they know the character of Fannie Masemola. They know that he's not the type of person that will really follow up. I think that the bulk of it, we are where we are, especially Fannie Masemola, is where he is because of his character and because of him being the person that he is, who just doesn't talk too much and just allows people to be. Little does he know that allowing people to be, you are actually ruining things for yourself, because look at where he is today, because he failed to put that strong command to say that, no ways, you guys are going to listen to me, you're not going to award this tender, or you're going to award this tender. And if he did so, he was going to gladly clothe himself with this corruption and face this particular situation head on.
How do you justify saying that there was no waste? Similar to the question that the Honourable Nomvalo asked you previously.
Honourable Chair, as I've indicated, the end user only pays for the services that were rendered. Where there were no services rendered, the end user has an obligation in terms of PFMA. The budget is with them. They manage the operations to ensure that they're paying for the services that were not rendered. I have indicated that when they raised the issues of performance, we dealt with those issues with Medicare. If Medicare still operated and we had reasonable grounds in terms of performance to cancel the contract based on non-performance, we would have done that.
But you haven't, and they have non-performed, General.
But
I'm interrupting you again because you're talking about the end user. I'm not interested in the end user. You allowed Medicare into the police. You, no one else. You. The buck stops with you.
And that's the thing. There's other arguments that people have made to say that this is sort of like a faction, because there's two factions in the SAPS. There's these factions that are part of Abu Shadrach Sibia, and there's factions of Abu Fannie Masemola. And we know that people like Paulo Sullivan's and many others, they want this faction of Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi and Fannie Masemola to be collapsed. They've been fighting and trying to prove to the public that this faction is actually the problem, while this faction as well is trying to prove that this faction is also problematic because it has some relations with the cartels. They've been doing a lot of illegalities. And so far, the faction of Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi has been doing very well, has been winning, and has been favored by the public, whereas this one has been trying so hard to prosecute these ones and making sure that the Fannie Masemola, KHUMALO, Mkhwanazi faction has been dealt with, even though they've denied that there's these factions, but people believe that there is police factions.
We have said it that there are two factions that is fighting against each other. Now, here is it today, a national commissioner is appearing in court. General Mkhwanazi have made this public to say there is a faction within the ADEC that is fighting against a clean police service. That's why we are saying it is a very good thing that we can see that the law of this country does not have eyes.
And obviously, there's also the issue of the IDEC, that IDEC itself has factions. We know that Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, during the July press brief, he did tell us that IDEC has the rogue unit. There's the IDEC and then there's a rogue unit in the IDEC.
Etc., not corruption. But IDEC receives this communication from the Minister of Police to take these dockets, and IDEC does exactly that. They go and take these dockets and they investigate them. I wonder whether is this what the unit IDEC was established for.
And even Andrea Johnson was accused of being part of the rogue unit IDEC that is targeting these officials, this faction of Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, Fannie Masemola, and Dumisani Khumalo. And I'm not gonna lie, today I was in awe and I started believing that probably Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi is telling the truth regarding this whole thing of rogue unit in the IDEC. So these charges were brought by IDEC. So IDEC is the one that has arrested Fannie Masemola. IDEC is the one that has actually arrested General Dumisani Khumalo. IDEC has been the one that is doing this. And one of the major questions that people have had is If indeed IDEC means good and wants to really deal with this corruption, why is it that they've been arrested Mkhwanazi? They've been arrested Suleiman Karim. They've been arrested everybody that has been mentioned in the Matlala Commission to be very much connected to this 360 tender. And more than anything, General Fannie, the man at the center who was part of the adjudication process, just like what we are seeing with Gareth Mnisi at the Matlala Commission. He was at the center, but still he allowed this tender to go through and overlook all those irregularities, even though they were there with the 360 tender, with 360 million tender. And I think that in and of itself is one of the things that are thinking, making people to think that how can you jump the adjudicating process committee, go straight to the National Police Commissioner? That has raised a really red flag.
You can see, you come in here and say there are factions. We are not aware of those factions. If anyone has got any information that leads to that, to say that they
left many people saying that he's unfairly being targeted. Is this a targeted arrest, or is there any harassment against him as claimed by some?
No, there isn't such a thing. Where this is basically based on the law and based on the facts before the IDEC, and therefore IDEC has done what they're supposed to do. And obviously we are not the ones who are saying somebody's guilty or not. We are just presenting them to the court, and the courts will make decisions on the basis of the evidence that will be brought here. We work with the evidence and the law.
Is there any other persons of interest, Mr. Kganyago?
As you might know, in this case there are now about 17 people. Therefore, and I said even previously that if there are other people that are going to be brought into this case, they will be brought into this case.
I ask this because in terms of the bid evaluation committee, some may believe that maybe there isn't any much tight charges against them. But as IDEC, are you an MPA, are you sure that those within the BAC as well will face tough charges against the issue of non-compliance and ensuring that they award an irregular contract?
But you would have seen in the number of people that were arrested last time when we were here, there are people who were in the bid evaluation committees and so on. Therefore, that is those that we have something that we have got something against are the ones that appeared here. If we get information about others, then they will be brought here.
But did they actively participate, or is just lack of oversight thereof?
We can only bring them here if they are actively being involved.
Secondly, guys, if you guys have listened to the arguments of the IDEC and what the IDEC is saying through this attorney, let me play what the legal representative of the IDEC said in court in relation to the Fannie Masemola case.
With 4 counts of contravening the Public Finance Management Act, number 1 of 1999, it is the intention of the state for the accused in this matter to be joined to case number A16/212/26, currently appearing before this court in the matter of the state versus Vusimuzi, Matlala, and 15 others, which is before this court again on the 13th of May, 2026. Worship, just for the record, the accused in the Matlala matter were arrested as they were charged on Schedule 5 offences. They have appeared before court on the 25th of March, and all the accused, but for accused number 1, Mr. Matlala, was released on bail. Your Worship, Mr. Masemola's attendance this morning is by way of a summons because of the nature of the charges that he is faced with, being 4 counts of the Public Finance Management Act, which does not fall within the ambit of Schedule 5. Therefore, the state, following the prescripts of the law, Your Worship, has used the least invasive process of securing Mr. Masemola's attendance this morning. Your Worship, the investigation against Mr. Masemola is at an advanced stage, save for certain aspects of the financial investigation that has to be completed, and the delay therein is because of waiting for bank statements, etc. Your Worship, as a result of the addition of Mr. Masemola in the matter that is already before the court on case A16/212/2026, the state will need to amend that charge sheet to reflect the accused's involvement, and a new charge sheet will be provided on the next court appearance. The state therefore requests that the matter be postponed for the accused to be joined as a co-accused in the matter of the state versus Vusimuzi, Matlala, and 15 others, the date being the 13th of May 2026. Your Worship, I have canvassed the date with my learned friend, and he's in agreement with that date, and we accordingly request that the matter be postponed to the 13th of May 2026.
Which court would that be?
That would be Court 16.
Court 16. Mr. Masemola, you've heard what was said here and you followed, I believe.
I did follow.
Good. So it's not necessary for me to repeat everything then. Your matter remanded for purposes of joining with the other case and co-accused until the 13th of May. 13th of May this year in Court 16. Court 16 is located on the ground floor and you are again warned to appear 8:30 in the morning. 13 May, Court 16, 8:30. Do you understand? Good, thank you.
Court, please, Your Worship. Your Worship, that is my role today. I do not believe there is any other.
No, I think we are done. Thank you.
But that's the thing, guys. After listening to this, listen to what they said with regards to the Matlala case, his case right now of the Tebogo Tobejane, and him being sent from Bongweni back to Kgoshi for purposes of consultation.
I therefore request that the matter be postponed to the 13th of May 2026. Worship, I also request for the court to order that Mr. Matlala remain at Kgoshi so that it will enable us to finalize the consultative processes. Worship, as Your Worship is aware, on the previous occasion, Mr. Matlala was removed contrary to a court order. He was taken to Bongweni maximum security, and then it became a huge problem for the state. Also a very risky problem, Your Worship, as IDEC officials had to transport him and move him to Kgoshi. Your Worship, in fact, this morning, Your Worship, there's been arrangements made that IDEC officials transport Mr. Matlala to court. And correctional services has been made aware of this, Your Worship, and there's been no objection, otherwise there would have been some sort of intervention.
We want these consultations to be completed, hence we also requested that he remain in Pretoria so that consultations may be completed without having to always travel to pick him up from KZN back to Pretoria.
This application is the application of the IDEC. It's not the application of the NPA. This is the case of the IDEC. And what I'm going to show you, or if you've listened attentively and properly, is that IDEC looks like it's kind of like, to me, it looks like they want to use people like Vusimuzi Matlala for certain things. They want to push a certain agenda by using personalities like Vusimuzi Matlala to deal with this unit, this other part of the SAPS or this faction of Abo Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi and Misani Khumalo, because it still does not make sense to this day. Why is it that a lot of people have been jumped, then you go straight to the National Police Commissioner? Why not start with the National Police Commissioner, then go down? They've went and collected these 14 officials, then went straight to the National Police Commissioner, forgetting all of these many people that are involved, including Abu Hangwani Maumere. They haven't touched those people. To this day, we don't even know what's going on with Hangwani Maumere and everybody else that has been a beneficiary of the tender. As if that was enough, guys. You can see these people are the ones that made sure that this person, they're fighting now for Vusimuzi Matlala to stay in Kgoshi for purposes of consultation. And I want to argue and debate with you to the fact that I believe that Vusimuzi Matlala is part of the weapons that are being used to deal with these three. Because I don't understand why should they keep Matlala here at Kgoshi, because he can still consult with him even where he is in Epongwe. Them pushing this whole narrative, to me, it's some kind of a red flag that needs close evaluation, and you will see what I'm talking about. Then, obviously, Fannie Masemola decided to respond to these allegations, decided to come and say his side of the story after he was asked with regards to how he feels about this. Will he lose his job? And this is how he went about his response.
You'll be joining Vusi Matlala and 15 others in the dock. What's your response to that, General?
Well, he's alleged have done certain things, corruption and what. And I have not done corruption. I'm charged on PFMA, so I don't understand why I should join him, but probably the choice is not mine.
And I'm not going to lie, I agree with everybody that is saying that it does not look good at all, that we see a national police commissioner in the dock. But that's the thing, guys, who is going to take over? Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi is currently the head of national organized crime. And it doesn't look like it will be fair to put him as the national police commissioner right now. Either he's going to be overburdened as the provincial police commissioner, organized crime national police commissioner, then now he's the general national police commissioner if they were to appoint him. In light of these investigations that are currently happening in platforms like the Matlala Commission, other people will feel like this whole thing is unfair. These are the arguments that have already been raised by other people.
Above board it looks, but possibly not in line, is General Mkhwanazi, because he has been so much now presented already and associated with what is happening here, but it will be seen as being actually biased towards him. And the situation still must be open-ended. The Commission must first come with a report before they say, yes, we believe in what General Mkhwanazi said. If they embrace him now, then the Commission actually becomes, in a sense, useless.
Others have said that maybe someone that should be appointed is someone that is like neutral, that is not in any of these things. Maybe just an officer, a senior officer that can just take the position just meanwhile up until this case ends. Because it has also been alleged and made clear that Uskakana, who's the legal representative of Fannie Masemola right now, he's going to actually go to court before the 14th or the 13th of May. He's going to appear before the court to ensure that Masemola does not get to be charged with Abu Vusimuzi Matlala, because the courts have decided that he's going to appear with Abu Vusimuzi Matlala and is going to now start attending the court cases with Abu Matlala. If that is not embarrassing, guys, I don't know what should embarrass you. Very embarrassing. As people are asking, and the growth for acting national police commissioner is starting to take shape. And I'm not going to lie, I think high chances the commissioner is going to be suspended. Others are saying, obviously, there's those that are saying, don't suspend him, let him be. But I think right now it will look quite unfair that everybody, everybody else that has been associated with this guy of Vusimuzi Matlala has not been suspended. So they've really took a different angle at catching the national police commissioner. Yes, they definitely onto him, and it does not look good at all. So I don't know what you guys think. Do you think that who should take over? Is it Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, or it should not be Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi who takes over from here? Then I wanted us to actually discuss this one. And this point is the point of the IDEC now using external forces such as Fidel Adams and Stuart Shanek. So Stuart Shanek and Fidel Adams appeared as well. And this is what Shanek had to say regarding these allegations of Fannie Masemola.
Good morning to you and your listeners. Firstly, I'm actually glad that Fannie Masemola must finally account. Masemola being so incompetent, he is the reason why our country is currently facing a wave of criminality like it is. I mean, the GBV that's taking place, the rapes in our country, we're inundated with illegal foreigners in our country, and the reason is because we have a poor leader at the helm of SAPS. It's finally come to light that he's now involved in criminality. I mean, if we look at Lieutenant General MANAMELA over the weekend, has also implicated him in a number of wrongdoings. It's about time that the minister, Professor Kachalia, steps in and actually removes him or asks him to step down so that SAPS can finally be fixed.
Some would say that perhaps you also have, something to answer to, given some of the allegations that have been made against you. Why would you then believe that you are somebody who can actually then, give an opinion on Fannie Masemola?
Well, look, I've said it before. What was said by General KHUMALO was a bunch of lies. I've submitted to the Matlala Commission. I'm still maintaining that I'm innocent with what he's actually involved me or implicated me in. And I'm still standing here. I mean, we've had a national press briefing that was called about me, saying that people were deleting records, which was another bunch of lies. Nobody has been arrested. Masemola's done nothing to that Major General Gopal, who comes out with a series of lies. So we really want the lies to stop. We want South Africans to see the truth, and it starts with Masemola.
And this is what Fidel Adams also said with regards to this whole allegations and what they call justice in their world.
Well, I didn't come here for the food. I'm the one that raised the issue of the corruption within the top ranks of SAPS. I'm the one that laid the criminal charges. I'm the one that demanded that the National Commissioner, as the accounting officer, must be held accountable and must be charged for the theft and the looting that is happening. Let me rephrase that. The alleged theft and the looting, because the judge will make a ruling on it, not me. I'm happy that the National Commissioner is here. I've come a long way to see it, because this has been overdue. I have said in the portfolio that very soon we will have no management left within the South African police services. That's how deep the rot is. Now, this man, Masemola, has been protecting people that have been charged when they should have been suspended. Today he's in court. You heard Lieutenant General MANAMELA. We are calling upon the President to suspend this man, the National Commissioner Fannie Masemola, in the words of Senzo Mkhwanazi, with immediate effect, because it's in the best interest of the SAPS and the nation.
I mean, it seems the SAPS is in crisis. What does it look like in terms of a cleanup? The Matlala Commission seems to be doing quite a good job at delving into some of these issues.
You know, the rand's in crisis. The SAPS is rotten. There's a difference. What needs to happen now is this man must go. A suitable, clean person must be brought in to clean up the SAPS. We are estimating that about 60% of the seniors must go. And when I say go, I mean via the court process. It's going to get ugly. It's going to get rotten. We expect more witnesses to be killed, because this is the way the crooks that run the system operate. And ultimately, you know what? We as the public and we as the whistleblowers and crime fighters will take the punch. We'll brave the bullets, but they must go.
There was quite a tense situation between you and General Mkhwanazi in Parliament. He also seems to think you have a case to answer to as well.
Well, you know what? If an incompetent police general has an issue with me, I'll take the criticism from where it comes. I'm okay. But Mkhwanazi must now stand up and man up, because let me quote Mkhwanazi for the country: there can be no peace between a criminal and a police officer. Masemola is about to be charged. Let's see where he stands on this. Because remember, a couple of months ago, there was rumors that Masemola was going to be charged. What did Mkhwanazi do? He called a press conference to subvert the law. That's the hero. Let's see where this goes. I've got issues with Mkhwanazi. I've laid criminal charges against Mkhwanazi. I'm going to be following up to see what happens. I've laid criminal charges against Masemola. I'll be following up. I've laid criminal charges against Lushaba, Madondo, and KHUMALO, and they are in court now.
Do you think the criminal justice system, though, is being used to fight the internal battles within the SAPS?
100%. But you know what concerns me? What concerns me is the inequity in the criminal justice system. Because if the rumors are true that General Masemola is here today because of some collusion between him and Vusikat Matlala. Vusikat Matlala is locked up in Vusimuzi prison right up the road under 24-hour supervision, I believe. Masemola gets to go home. We're calling on the courts to be fair. Lady Justice is supposed to be blind. If this is the case, if Matlala is arrested for the 340 million rand Medicare contract, if it is alleged that General Masemola is involved in that, we don't even want him to get bail.
All I can say is that whenever you see the group of Shadrack Sibia, you just know that these man hatches, they're just fronting. They're advancing the wishes of Shadrack Sibia. We know that Shadrack Sibia was on to Fannie Masemola. He challenged his disciplinary, he challenged his suspension. He's kept on challenging Fannie Masemola in court, and he kept on failing when these allegations came out. So he doesn't look like a person that likes Fannie Masemola. I seriously believe that these two individuals don't have a good relationship at all. I don't know how they survived, but I think after this whole thing that is going on, it got worse. Because there he went and deployed Shanik. The very Shanik who is said to be a very serious criminal. The media is giving him the airtime. It's like giving the people that have been alleged at the Matlala Commission airtime to talk. They are giving them airtime to tell us what they feel about the National Police Commissioner. Guys, this is insane. This is insane. How do you give Stuart Shanik, a criminal, airtime to speak and talk about the National Police Commissioner, a police? If that doesn't frustrate you as a South African, I don't know what should. Obviously, those ones who love media houses, they would say that the media is just doing their job. They just wanted to understand why Shanik is there. Because Shanik just came. I also was shocked that Shanik is actually there and what is his business in all of this. And then as for Fidel Adams, he has always been used as a pawn to deal with this faction or these three people. He did it with the KHUMALO, he's doing it with Fannie, and he's definitely going to do it with Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, just like he's already started. He went and lobbied the Mr. Mlojwa and got him to come and open a case against Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi of torture and corruption. And I'm telling you guys, we might think that Fidel Adams is just a small boy. That guy, if he's already done two things to two police officers and was able to convince IDEC to go and arrest, imagine what he can do when it comes to Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi with those allegations of torture. But what I love about Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi is that he's always 10 steps forward. You see Fidel, I'm telling you guys, in as much as we think that Imogen is coming next, since we've seen the series of arrests from Julius Mkhwanazi, the AMPD officers, all the arrests that we've seen, and we've seen the movement of Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, how the task team has been moving and making arrests. I'm telling you guys, Fidel Adams, you should make sure that he's part of the book. Fidel Adams, I'll be shocked if this whole thing ends without him seeing some jail. That guy is going to be arrested. And Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi is definitely onto him. The way Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi was onto Kelvin Matibeli, when he thought he's smart, came and defamed Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, he went and started raiding him. It's the same fate that is going to befall Mr. Fidel Adams. Because I foresee arrests of Fidel Adams. I'm telling you guys, the way he's too much into all of this. And is shaming, coming after Mkhwanazi every chance he gets. Because that's the thing. Today he spoke outside. He also spoke inside after the appearance. And he just loves the media. He just has to always say something regarding these officers and everything that has been happening.
We're vindicated. That's why we were humiliated, we were memed. Because we said that the National Commissioner must be charged. And now we are urging the President to act and suspend this man. Because this country cannot be the circus that it is, where we have an alleged criminal running the South African Police Services. Remember, Masemola was given his notice to appear before court, what was it, 3 weeks ago? What's happened in those 3 weeks? He appointed Shamani as the new DNC. He made Mkhwanazi the head of another task team, which is against the Police Act, because the police commissioner cannot be the head of a task team.
Remind us what other charges did you open, because these charges relate purely to the Public Finance Management Act.
I have laid a charge of nepotism and cronyism against the National Commissioner, because there's, let me say, I don't want to say prima facie case evidence, but there's possible evidence that this man might be running an employment agency for family and friends.
So Commissioner though believes that there is internal pushback, given the fact that they're uncovering a wide network of organized crime nationally as well. This is probably something that won't sit well with you.
No, it does, because if there's a wide network within SAPS, that criminal network within SAPS that must be exposed,
and outside of SAPS.
But hold on a second. Here's the network that they didn't expose. KHUMALO buying those hotels. Lushaba with defeating the ends of justice. Madondo with a criminal clearance. The BMW brigadier. These are all the things they knew, but they didn't expose. So the National Commissioner is either inconsistent or he's leaning towards the other side.
That is why Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi even said it, that there's no way that I'm going to be in one room with this guy. Like, someone has to give in if me and him are going to be in the same room.
Thank you, Lieutenant General. I think you and Honorable Adams must have a moment.
Now, at the room, one of us will come out.
No.
Give us a room, one of us will come.
Lieutenant General, you can't say that. That's like a threat.
Say again?
Point of order. General Mkhwanazi is threatening a member of parliament. Please, yes.
No, I wanted to tell the honorable member that her time has ended.
But the general did not tell who is going to come out. He said, one of us is going to come out. He did not tell which one.
Hence, I see Fidel Adams seems like he's now friends with Shadrack Sibia, because Shadrack Sibia's security is seen with him, and they're now, in the same side. And these people are not liked by Mkhwanazi in as much as they don't like Mkhwanazi. Because even Mkhwanazi said he doesn't like Shadrack Sibia, and there can never be peace between him and Shadrack Sibia. Same thing with Fidel Adams. He feels exactly the same. And you know how people do it in the world. The enemy of my enemy is my, friend. So I think that's the type of logic that they're using with this whole situation. I don't know what you guys think. Do you think that these are trumped up are trumped up charges and that they are using this whole thing to push a certain narrative against Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi and against these officers that are seen to be part of Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. And the IDEC is used, or the IDEC, actually the rogue unit of IDEC, is doing this intentionally to push a certain narrative. Because the question still remains, why are you not arresting the other officers and you targeting people specifically who are even on top without even looking at people down who have done this whole thing of assisting Ket Matlala? I don't know what you guys think. I definitely think that for now, Fannie Masemola must just, accept the suspension, focus on this case. His contract, I think, either way is about to end. I think it's ending next year, if I'm not mistaken. And he must just take the suspension as long as they can get a good replacement, not a replacement that will sabotage everything and make this whole thing worse than what it is or cover up. Because we need someone that will ensure that the task team does its job, that will stand in the way, and that will ensure that things are done properly. And obviously, the general did address the allegations by MANAMELA, of which they were really, really serious allegations. And this is what he said regarding those allegations of MANAMELA.
What's your response to the allegations against Lieutenant General MANAMELA and Mpumalanga?
I'm going to take only this one of MANAMELA, and that is it.
Are you going to be challenging it legally?
No. MANAMELA, she should bring proof. What the public should know is that when the stadium cases happened, I was in KwaZulu-Natal. At no stage after I've taken over have she ever discussed a case of Matlala with me. Nobody, not only her, nobody else have ever discussed with me that case. I didn't know where the case is, what happened to it. So it's a shock to hear now all of a sudden that I have taken 5 million, but let her bring the proof. I'm quite happy that she bring proof.
5 million.
Madlanga Commission is there. She should have gone there. So I don't know why she doesn't go there. But she must bring that proof.
I definitely agree with the general when it comes to this one. MANAMELA definitely has to go to the commission, and I'm happy that the Gadi, Gadi family has decided that they're going to go to, they want her to testify at the Matlala Commission regarding the unaliving of their child that she spoke about in that brief. And I think she's made serious allegations that definitely deserve the Matlala Commission platform. Nonetheless, guys, let me know what you think about all of this. And yeah, are you guys ready to see our National Police Commissioner with Vusimuzi Ket Matlala? I just can't imagine. Oh, hide me. Nonetheless, guys, let me hear your thoughts. I'll see you guys on my next upload. Bye.